I'd like to call to order the Clarkson Independence District Library Board of Trustees meeting for September 17th, 2018 at 6:02. Let's rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Jan Gaffney.
Here.
Michelle Ginn.
Here.
Dan Green.
Here.
Mary Himber.
Here.
Allison McFadden-Kiesling.
Here.
Carolyn Pomeroy.
Here.
Ann Rose. Here. Julie Mary here.
Okay. I'll accept approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is approved. Call to the public.
A lot going on with the Friends coming up. The biggest thing, of course, is our annual fall book sale, which is next week. The setup will be this coming Saturday through Monday. The preview night is the 25th on Tuesday from 6 to 8. The sale is Wednesday through Saturday. Opens at 10 a.m. every day and closes half an hour before the library closes so that we can clean up. Except on Saturday when it closes at 2. And Friday, as always, is our half-price day. Saturday is our $5 for a full grocery bag full of books. Big deal. Also this year we will have 7 laptops for sale that the Friends purchased in 2008. They have been wiped clean of all programs, and we're going to sell them now for $50 a piece. So those will be for sale at the book sale. Just for information purposes, the lobby carts that we have where we sell books all the time, we're going to move one of them into the entrance lobby because the business center is going in where our lobby carts are. So after the book sale, that location will change. I do have to introduce to you our new library advisory liaison. Starting in January will be Nancy Moon. Julie Sislowitz will be taking over as president, so we have a new library liaison person for you to get used to, and so she came tonight to see what she's going to do.
Look forward to it.
Thank you. We will still need a president-elect, a newsletter chairperson, and a book sale chairperson. But sadly, we are losing our longtime treasurer. Jan Armour has been with us for 14 years, but she's off to new adventures in the western part of the United States. So we wish her well, but it's going to be a big loss. And our fall general membership meeting is on the 18th of October, which is a Thursday at 7 p.m. here. And at that, we will be approving the wish list that the library presents for projects that they want to do through the winter and spring. And also we will be announcing the Friend of the Year. And no, I'm not going to tell you who it is. So we have to come to the meeting to find out. Also, Connor McNamara is going to do a presentation about the Clarkson High School yearbooks that are now available online. So that will be an interesting thing if you want to come to the meeting. Any questions?
Thank you. Concise as always. At this time, I'll call for public hearing on the millage rate. I'm opening the public hearing at 6:06. Does anyone wish to speak to the public hearing? If not, we'll be closing it at 6:06. We also have a public hearing tonight on the 2019 budget. The public hearing will open at 6:07. Anyone wish to make a comment on the proposed budget? If not, we will close that hearing at 6:07. Now I will accept a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved. Second.
Consent agenda, we have a change to
Yes.
the minutes.
Oh, yeah.
The minutes are, the correction is in front of you when I,
This is B. Item B has a correction
yeah.
on the consent agenda. Jan Gaffney was absent from that budget workshop, but
Sorry
your
about that.
spirit was here.
Apparently it was,
I
because
spoke to you afterwards, which I think is why I forgot.
So that is the only, that is a corrected, you have a corrected copy in your packet?
so I will move that it be approved with the correction.
Okay. Second?
Second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded that we accept the consent agenda as presented. All those in favor, please say aye.
Uh,
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried and approved. Okay, library statistics, colorfully in front of us.
I have the statistics before you. August is one of our quietest months, so I have no commentary from any of the staff members about it. We did our carnival, but I got to tell you about that last month, so that window is, there's not much to tell you about in statistics, so.
Okay, so all of
Any
the,
questions or comments on anything that's in the statistical presentation? Okay, I'll have a better report next time.
all right, thank you. Okay, next, the library director's report.
Okay. During the third week of August, we had water leaking into the office of the head of Children's and Teen Services after a rainstorm. Librarians hate water, we're just like cats. Both the roof and the rooftop HVAC ductwork were replaced in 2013, but an inspection of the roof revealed some damage to the Firestone rubber roofing. Bloom Roofing was called in to make the repair. A few days later, we had more rain and another incident of water in the same office, not as much, but still enough to be a problem. This time we brought in our HVAC service contractor who discovered that one of the units had a clogged drain line and that the door to the unit had been damaged in a storm, allowing some water to seep in. So these two issues have both been corrected. We've had some rain since then, but no more leaking, but we're going to keep an eye on it after the next significant rainstorm, and we are cautiously optimistic that we have finally resolved this issue, much to the pleasure of the head of Children's and Teen Services, who was getting tired of the tarps in her office. Project updates. I'm continuing to work with the Clarkston for Life Community-Wide Wellbeing Initiative Committee. We are currently arranging to meet with municipal leaders to have a more in-depth conversation about how this concept can become part of the conversation when larger decisions are made regarding the community as a whole. In addition, the library is hosting a book discussion of The Happiness Advantage by Sean Aker on Monday, September 24th at 7 p.m. and again on Wednesday, September 26th at 10:30 a.m. So that's something that is a Clarkston for Life initiative, and we are the location for it. Bless you. Next item.
Our deep dive.
In addition to a deep dive into the 2019 budget, at the budget workshop on Tuesday, August 28th, the library board appointed Evan Smale as our new head of adult services librarian. He started on Wednesday, September 12th. He's been busily getting to know the staff, has met with a number of people for various orientations, and has already started working on a few projects. So yes, that was just Wednesday. So today is his, fourth day? But anyway, he's been sliding right in there, getting to work. Next item, the bulk of the installation work has been completed on the library's new phone system. The new phones are programmed and have been placed on all the desks and in the offices and meeting rooms. The technicians have also tested the paging system. We are tentatively scheduled to port to the new phones on Tuesday, September 25th, with training taking place that same day as part of the cutover process. The goal is to have this project complete and the staff completely trained on the new system by the end of September. So we had a little bit of a lull, a lag, I guess I should call it, in the installation process. They really thought we were going to be porting at the end of August, and we missed that. But I think we'll be ready by the end of September. I think it will all be done as intended. Last item, on August 15th and 16th, the library once again took part in the annual Art in the Village festivities in Depot Park. The Friends of the Library sponsor a tent and 3 hands-on art projects for kids and families, which the library staffs. It's a great opportunity to engage with the community outside of the library and to talk to people who use the library and also those who don't about the wide variety of services that we offer.
Thank you. That's been busy.
It's been busy, yes, it's been busy.
All right, we have a long list of regular business items tonight. So let us start with number 1, the review and approval of the 2019 budget. Yep.
I will get started on that.
This is broken into about 5 different sections.
Okay, so you have all of your documentation in your board packet. It has been posted. So I'm going to jump right in. We're going to start off with the guiding principles that were used in the building of this budget. First, we wanted to address continued growth in library usage. We also want to focus on fiscal management, responsible spending, and proper care of the community's assets. And of course, when we talk about the assets, we mean the building, we mean the collections. And we want to improve the services for our community. And after my research in public libraries workshop that I went to back in July, we are making data-inspired decisions. And so data-inspired means that we use hard data interfaced with community feedback and input to provide residents with the services they truly need and want. So in terms of revenues, so our district-wide voted library millage, which was approved in 2014, was 1.25 mils. It has been rolled back to 1.2016 by the Headley Amendment. So if you look, I've got my little laser pointer here. Hopefully it works. It does. Okay, good. So here's our millage line right here. So we have the amended 2017, the original approved 2018, the amended 2018, here's 2019. So we anticipate our millage revenue will be $1,954,940. The library has been opted out of the Corridor Improvement Authority tax capture while further investigation of options takes place. So where we were turning over this $12,946, that is at 0 this year. State aid increased slightly in 2018. Now, state aid is one of those things that we have to be, as you know, a little bit cautious about in terms of how much we budget in. It comes in the form of 2 checks. It usually comes, lately it's been coming out to be between $20,000 and $24,000. But we never know halfway through the year if the state determines they don't have enough money and that second check won't come. So when I budget, I always budget conservatively. So where we might think that we're getting between 20 and 24, I always budget 12,000. Depending on what the history shows. If more money comes in, we can designate it for a project, but if it doesn't come, then we're not making cuts. The same thing with penal fines. The library board is very familiar with penal fine money. Penal fine money is something that is designated in the Constitution of Michigan. It's divided up by counties. We get a small cut based on, penal fine revenue. So we get a little bit of that money that comes from traffic tickets and court costs and things like that. It actually comes out, depending on how many traffic tickets and violations are issued, it has been as low as $40,000 back in the worst part of the economic downturn. The last couple of years it's been up around $70,000. This is another one that we don't know until the check comes what it's going to be. So history shows that the last several years it's been in the $70,000 range. I budget about $50,000. That's another thing that if that revenue comes in, the library board can make a decision to designate it for some sort of a project. But I don't like to put us in a position where if it doesn't come, we're making cuts to things that we've already told people we're doing. Fines and fees. Fines and fees means just what it sounds like, library fines, and the fees that we get for meeting room rentals and that sort of thing. That has gone down slightly. Duplicating and photocopying, that's not a huge number anyway, and it all really depends on how much people need to use the printers and the copiers. So what I use is historic data to estimate those numbers. Then we have interest and E-rate. E-rate is our federal grant that helps us pay for our broadband internet. That's something that is based, the amount that we get is based on the number of children in our school district that are eligible for the free lunch program. Any questions about any of the revenue? Okay, very good. So at the bottom, you can see that we are looking at a budget of $2,044,740. Okay, Employment costs and assumptions. In 2018, the library transitioned to an age-rated plan as defined by the Affordable Care Act. This now provides a significant reduction in costs despite an anticipated slight increase in premiums. As recommended by the Library Board Staffing Committee, a wage increase of 1% for all employees down at the top of their pay scale has been included. The Staffing Subcommittee and the Library Board have been working with the library's auditor to assess and address coverage, crucial segregation of duties in the administrative department, increased supervision and coverage of custodial staff to ensure the building is safe, clean, and properly maintained. And the thing that we talk about most frequently when we talk about budgeting, staffing usually accounts for between 50 and 65% of a library's budget. We try to stay conservatively. Staffing continues to reflect 59% of our library's 2019 operating budget. Any questions? Okay. So I referred to segregation of duties, and what exactly does that mean? So just in a nutshell, we've been working with the auditor since 2014 in terms of dividing things up so that the money is being managed responsibly. You can do, usually when you've got an administrative office, you either have a 2-person plan, a 3-person system, or a 4-person system. What looks like in our situation that we have a 3-person structure is actually a hybrid of a 2-person structure. So where you might have, in our case, we have a library director, an administrative assistant, and an accountant. Our accountant is a contracted accountant, not located in our building and with limited access to various secure areas in our bank accounts and things like that. So we actually have what I would consider to be a hybrid of a 2-person system. Over the course of the past couple of years, we've been running into situations that if either of the people that are in the building are unavailable, not here, we are no longer in that situation at the appropriate 2-person structure. So the library board has been addressing this, looking at this, talking to the auditor. The staffing committee has been helping me with this as well. The library board wants me to be out of the building more, so we've been running up against this fairly regularly in the past 2 years. The other issue that we've been coming up against is in terms of me being out of the building more is facilities management. Interfacing with a technician from our facilities maintenance company to ensure tasks are complete and satisfactory, troubleshooting emergency repairs, and following up on contractors executing repairs. So in this particular situation, it's not that I mind doing this, but when I'm out of the building, when our technician comes to fix things, I'm not always here to follow up and make sure. So in this case, we do have an employee who has been here for a very long time, knows the building as well, if not in some ways better than I do, and is stepping up to assist in doing some of those tasks as well. So that allows me to know that even in my absence, somebody is double checking those kinds of things. So over the course of the next several weeks, we'll start to train her in that area. Any questions about that?
Let me just clarify one thing. We want you out of the building so you can represent
Yes.
the
I should clarify that, yeah. So you want me out of the building,
We
you
don't
want
want
me
you just to go
No,
away.
local meetings, I'm strapped to the building is what the real problem is. So,
I want to make that clear.
local meetings, regional meetings, state meetings, and even in some cases national, which is, you sent me to Atlanta for the Research in Public Libraries Conference, which was an amazing opportunity to learn a lot about, as I said, data-inspired decision-making and strategic planning, all projects we are taking on in 2019. Okay, so this is the organizational chart, 2019, as directed by the board to have as part of the 2019 budget. And you'll have that in your packet. And you looked at it in depth at the budget workshop. Okay, so here's the nutshell version. This is what I always refer to as the top half of the budget. So in terms of wages, here's our full-time wages, our part-time wages. You can see we raised up that number because, as I said, we're doing more programming, we're doing more coverage in terms of making sure the building is being cleaned and properly maintained. You'll see down here, this is the health insurance line, and you can see this has gone down significantly. And that is because of that age-rated Affordable Care Act plan. The rest of the numbers in here are all sort of built off of these numbers. We're seeing, we've always budgeted conservatively, but with a little bit of cushion when it comes to things like the disability insurance, workers' compensation, that kind of thing. So, any questions about the top half? All right. Okay, so significant changes from 2018 to 2019. This is referring to what I call the bottom half of the budget, which is the operating side. So staffing costs were adjusted to accommodate an increase in library services and usage, improved fiscal management, and more thorough oversight of facilities maintenance. And as I said before, this reflects 59% of the budget. From the that decrease in health insurance, also those two items are allowing some of that money to be wiggled around in other parts of the budget. Decrease in professional contract services due to the completion of 2018 projects. An increase in special events budget to provide expanded programming for youth due to significant program growth in 2018. An increase in legal fees to accommodate a 2019 project to review and update employee policies. An increase in the printing budget to accommodate projects to add and improve signage, increased marketing of summer reading program, and growth of library card distribution program through local schools. An increase in the building and grounds maintenance to address additional facilities maintenance and repairs due to deferred maintenance in the past. We've been talking about that for several years as well. We're getting some of them done, but there's still more to do. Changes to subscriptions, professional and contract services, and equipment maintenance lines reflect anticipated costs being shifted from lines to allow similar types of expenditures to be grouped together for easier tracking. Okay, that sounds like it's really complicated. What it means is that our IT manager asked that we start moving things around a little bit. So you'll see some line items went down, some line items went up. It doesn't reflect a change in the way we're spending the money. It reflects him wanting to be able to see things grouped together more easily so that he can track when things do change price, when we're talking about increases in service maintenance agreements and that kind of thing. He only has access to certain line items, and so things that are his responsibility, we've moved into his line items so that he can get at them easily. Jump down. Increase in conferences and workshops reflect the board interest in improved staff development. A decrease in refunds and rebates due to trend in reduction of rebates by board of review. We usually put about $10,000 aside that when the board of review lowers somebody's taxes and we have to give them a rebate, then the money is set aside. That has really been under $1,000 for the last couple of years, so I lowered that number. Seems like we don't need so much tied up preparing for that. Projects to be planned to the building budget from undesignated revenue or fund balance as costs for prioritized projects the board has expressed interest in working on are worked out. So we'll talk about that just a little bit more in a second. An increase in the equipment budget to accommodate an upgrade to wireless internet, technology upgrades in the business area, and computer lab meeting room, and upgrades to work staff stations based on a 3-year technology plan. So that's our IT manager's projects. So he's got some technology things, as I said, wireless internet, technology upgrades, staff workstations are all part of that 3-year plan. And then a slight increase in the book budget to accommodate an update of specific collections in the children's department. So let's look at this budget. So we talked about the subscriptions. We talked about the professional contract services. You can see that number's gone down a little bit. Here's our special events. That's gone up. That's our programming budget. There's the legal fees. Let's see, printing and publishing, that's gone up significantly. We're doing significant signage both inside and out. One of the things that's on your board packet for later this evening is signage right outside at the main entrance that you can see from the driveway so that you can tell the library's hours without having to get out of your car. That has been something people have been really, really wanting. And the thing that we are asking for tonight as part of that project is to electrify that sign so that it's even easier to read after hours. So, but those are all projects that Christina and Trevor have been working on. Some of these things are pretty much the same. Electric, heat, we have great historical information about that. We've been in this building since 1992, so we know quite a lot about how much that costs. Building and grounds maintenance, we've kind of figured out where that goes. We've got that facilities contract in there that we talked about at the budget workshop. Equipment maintenance, that's where you're seeing that shift. So we see this number went down and this number went up. And that's because we've shifted that money down into this part of the budget. Conferences and workshops, you can see a little bit more money there. This is that rebate line that's gone down. The building budget, we don't have anything there right now, and I'll talk about that in just a second. Equipment, this number was really big, had the phone system in it. Phone system's done, that was a big, huge project. He has projects this year, but they're not nearly as big as that phone system. A little bit of extra money here, and that's that book budget that we talked about. Any questions? Okay. All right. We've been talking about this for months, so I know it's, I know you've seen quite a lot. Okay, this one, I apologize, I didn't really realize how tiny it was going to be when it shows up on the big screen. But just to point out, so here's that staffing section that we looked at, and down here is that revenue section that we looked at, and then right here in the middle is that operating section we looked at. So the number that I'm going to read to you, because you're not going to be able to see it tiny on the screen, is $60,574. That is that little bit of undesignated revenue that I told you that we would have. And the reason I'm telling you about that is because we do have big projects on the horizon. So a review of big projects. In-building laptop checkout. That's something that's scheduled for 2018. The business area, which the board approved, we're asking for a budget adjustment on the, in the budget a little bit later this evening. That's because we do believe that it can be done before the end of the year, which we did not think was going to be possible, but we talked to our consultant and he thinks that we can do that. So we're going to try. That's that outdoor signage that we talked about. As you know, we've been talking for several months about an outbuilding storage that will be built by the contractor services class over at the high school. The teacher is working with an architect right now to do the design plan, and the architect is doing that free of charge, which is fantastic. The actual little building that we're building will be 12 feet by 16 feet with kind of a high ceiling, so we'll be able to put things in that building that don't necessarily need to be physically in the library. Parking lot cones, book sale signs, extra tables, that kind of thing. We have a concrete contractor that the board has already approved that will pour the slab for it, and he is willing to work with this construction trades class so that they will be able to see how that works. So this is a really exciting project for the students, and it will end up costing us for the materials, and that's how we'll get it done, which is really great. And then we will be able to put up a sign that says the students built it for us. So, super, super excited about this project. It's taking a long time. This is not the fastest way to do this, but it is definitely the most heartwarming and I think the best way to do it. Okay. So we're doing that wireless internet and printing upgrade. That's one of our IT manager's projects that he has written right into the budget. Technology and computer lab in the meeting room. Now you'll remember when I say that, that's the computer lab. That hard data has shown us that that lab is not being used as much as it used to be. So that's where that laptop checkout comes into play. We have wireless throughout the building. People want to be able to use their mobile devices, and even people who are not necessarily coming in with their own mobile devices want to be able to sit anywhere in the building. So we put that great seating over in the adult seating area where you can plug right into the table. People now can take a laptop, check it out from the circulation desk, go sit anywhere in the building that they like using that wireless, and then that frees up that room. So that room will be turning into sort of a meeting room technology lab, but we're transitioning it slowly because we want the public to be okay with that. We don't want to just boot them out of the room, those people who really love that space. But I think what they're going to find is there's some other fantastic spaces in the library, and we're hoping they'll discover those. A circulation office. We obviously, as I've talked about, are struggling with space in the back of the house. We have increased our staff. We have not increased the office space. We've done space planning back there 2 or 3 different times to squeeze in as many people as we can. But we would like to put a small, very small, circulation office up front so that our head of circulation can be up front with her staff, where she would be happiest. She right now has a small cubicle in the back, and she spends most of her time up front anyway. She really could use a desk up front. New self-checkout station, that's something we've been talking about for the past couple of years. The one we have is still functioning. It is from 2004, which is pretty old technology, but it hasn't been a huge priority. It gets used, but it's not getting used so heavily that it isn't functioning. So that's tentative for 2019, depending. It kind of is in that same area as that circulation office. So we're not sure exactly how that will work out. We want to get that circulation office figured out first. And then a community meeting room redesign, that would be this space in here. As you can see by looking around the room, the carpet is starting to fray. This room was done in 2008, gets hugely heavy usage. So we're looking at redoing this room, new carpet, new paint, tables and chairs, that sort of thing. Any questions about any of that? Okay. And then the final comment, the library board and staff continue to make engagement with the community and and collaborative projects a top priority. We like to think that this budget reflects all of those goals.
It's our hope.
That's our thing.
Yeah.
And by the way, remember that these items that are tiny on the screen are on our website
Yep,
in much larger font.
absolutely. Okay, so you have two resolutions in your packet. The first one is to set the millage rate. The second one is to approve the budget. And those have to be a roll call because they're resolutions.
Okay, I'll accept a motion on the review and approval of the 2019 millage rate.
So moved. Second.
Any questions about that? We have no choice in that. Headley is just
No,
rolling
but
us
it's-
down a bit.
Yeah, but not too much.
No.
It's still looking pretty good.
It's
And
all right.
actually, the revenue from it is,
Still
just a
slightly-
tiny bit higher,
Tiny.
so.
Any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor
Okay.
will call the roll.
Jan Gaffney,
Yes.
Michelle Gang,
Yes.
Stan Green,
Yes.
Mary Hemberg,
Yes.
Allison McFadden Keesling,
Yes.
Marilyn Pomeroy,
Yes.
Ann Rose.
Yes.
Motion is approved. Okay, our second motion. I'll accept a motion to approve the budget as presented.
I move to approve the resolution establishing the Clarkston Independence District Library 2019 budget as presented. And it was a
Second.
very good presentation.
Thank you.
All right, we'll have a roll call on this item.
Jan Gaffney,
Yes.
Michelle Ginn,
Yes.
Stan Green,
Yes.
Mary Hemberg,
Yes.
Allison McFadden Keesling,
Yes.
Marilyn Pomeroy,
Yes.
Ann Rose.
Yes.
Motion has been approved. Now I'll accept a motion to approve the updated organizational chart as presented.
So moved. Second.
It's been moved and second to approve the updated organizational chart. Any questions or comments? We've changed this chart almost yearly since 2014 or 15. So every year we've been tweaking the chart a little to try to make the best usage of our space and resources. If there are no comments or questions, all those in favor of approving this chart, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Now I need a motion to approve the updated job descriptions for the administrative assistant, the lead custodian, and an IT intern as presented.
So moved.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded that we update several job descriptions, as mentioned. Any questions or comments? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Nay, if you do not agree. Motion is carried. Now we need to have a motion on the wage ranges.
I move to approve the updated wage ranges and 2019 wage schedule as presented.
Second. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the updated wage ranges and the 2019 wage schedule as presented. Comment I would like to make is this is data-driven based on salaries of Category 5 libraries in Southeast Michigan. So we do quite a bit of data on that and looking at what these positions are in other communities. Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, I would like to add to your comment that this staffing committee did quite a bit of study to come up with these ranges.
Right. So we have subcommittees working on all of these projects. All those in favor to approve the updated wage ranges and the wage schedule as presented, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Now let's move to review and approval of a circulating laptop policy.
All right. This comes from Connor McNamara, our IT assistant, and Bill Bowman, our IT manager. As CIDL continues to grow and recontextualize existing space, it will become necessary to reevaluate how we provide public computer usage to our patrons and the public at large. To that end, CIDL would like to start circulating laptops for in-library use only. Eventually, this process will make up the bulk of our public computer offerings, allowing space currently dedicated to desktop computers to be more flexible. The policy has been structured to allow all members of the public who currently enjoy our public computers to use the laptops while still ensuring that equipment the library invests in remains protected.
And the policy is on the back.
And it was, we're not the first library to do this. So we've looked at other policies, how the libraries that are circulating laptops within their building are doing this. And we've also looked at other policies within our own, things that we circulate within the building as well to create this structure.
Any comments or questions? Deals with eligibility, usage restrictions, data confidentiality, and fines and fees. Don't take the laptop out of the building.
Pretty much, yeah.
And don't break it while you're using it either.
We have special security to
Protect.
You can't take them out of the building.
Okay, who does the cleaning, the wiping after the usage?
Our IT department, they take care of all of that.
Will we still be selling flash drives if people neglect to bring their own? Okay.
Yep.
I didn't realize we sold flash drives. We do, yep.
That's great. Yeah, we have, yes. We also sell earbuds because people want to listen to the computers in the library and they don't always have headphones. And
I didn't know about the earbuds,
yeah,
but
those are the two things that we sell for circulation, earbuds and flash drives.
Okay, nice for the public to know.
Yeah, me too.
All right, I'll accept a motion.
I move to approve the circulating laptops policy as presented.
Second.
Any other comments or questions? Very thorough job.
Thank pass that on, this
Thanks,
one's
Yeah, no,
covered.
it looks like, it looks like a good policy. It covers like prioritizing
Yeah.
who gets to use it and
How
everything. I
long
think they did
and-
a good job.
They put a lot of energy into that
Yeah,
one.
that's good.
All those in favor, please say aye. Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Number 3, we're going to remove an approval of a quote for electrical work for our new signage.
The Community Relations Coordinator and the Business and Marketing Librarian are working on a project to boldly post the library's hours at the entrance of the building so they can easily be seen as people drive by. The signage project is budgeted, however, in order to make the sign more visible at night, they would like to add lighting to the sign. We requested a quote from Allied Building Services, our facilities maintenance company. They offered 2 options, one that electrifies the sign, that puts it on its own dusk-to-dawn sensor, while the other wires the sign into the rest of our exterior lighting, so that the sign will come on at the same time as the parking lot lights and the other exterior soffit lighting. To maximize the sign's visibility and impact, we are recommending the option that ties the sign into the rest of the exterior lighting. As I said, this is not a budgeted item, but there are sufficient funds available in that undesignated revenue from when we set the 2018 budget.
Any questions? I think it's nice. You don't have to run up to the door to see, like we do with all these companies.
It's a nice big sign. It will be essentially filling in that window that's above the door. And then the lights will be in that soffit so that you'll be able to see it from quite a distance, actually. So it should be really nice. We're really excited about it.
Questions? Comments? None, I'll take a motion.
I move that we approve the quote from Allied Building Services for option 2 and approve a budget adjustment of $2,100 from undesignated revenue to line 931, building and grounds maintenance.
Second.
Okay, it's been approved. Motion made and seconded to approve a budget adjustment of $2,100 from undesignated revenue to line 931, which is building and grounds maintenance. If there are no comments or questions, all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is carried. Number 4, Budget adjustment for the business area project.
At the August Library Board meeting, the board approved a project to redevelop the business area. At the time, we were unsure if the project would need to be funded in 2018 or 2019. After consulting with Library Design Associates, they feel the project can be completed before the end of 2018, so we should make appropriate budget adjustments to accommodate this work. The total project cost is $66,000. $26,000 is available in undesignated revenue, and the remaining $40,000 can be taken from fund balance. And as you know, we've been looking at fund balance to complete a lot of these projects that are investments from the public. So.
Yes, and we have quite the extensive documentation on all parts of the project.
And nothing has changed from when you said, yes, indeed, you wanted to do this project last month. The only thing that's changed is we didn't think we were going to be able to get it done until 2019. There is not really a lot of upfront cost. We get billed for it when the project is complete. And they really do. I said, are you sure? Because the accountant's not going to be happy if we put the money in 2018 and then have to move it for 2019. And he said, no, he thinks that they can get it done in 2018 and be done with it. So
That's exciting.
it's very exciting. They've already got everything lined up, and as soon as you approve, they will hit send.
Will the
on all
library stay
orders.
open while they're doing the work? Okay, good.
Yeah, yep. We're doing that Trendway wall system, which is like a glass wall
Yeah, it was
system.
beautiful.
Because of that, the construction isn't quite as messy as if we were doing drywall. So,
Yeah.
not quite as much dust.
Plus, be able to see through it.
Yep. Indeed.
Sounds like it.
Indeed.
I'll accept a motion.
I move to approve a budget,
Sorry.
I move to approve a budget adjustment of $26,000 from undesignated revenue to line 975 building, and a budget adjustment of $40,000 from fund balance to line 975 building for our business area project.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we approve a budget adjustment of $26,000 from undesignated revenue to line 975 building, and a budget adjustment of $40,000 from our fund balance to line 975 building. Any comments or questions? I'm sure we have the picture clear in our mind from the last meeting. All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion is passed. Okay, last item tonight is our self-evaluation.
The timing for all of the library's annual performance reviews takes place from September through December. This includes a process of self-review by the library board. The timeline is as follows. Library board self-review forms should be turned into the board president by Monday, September 24th. The library board self-review subcommittee will compile the results. The library board will schedule a special meeting to review and discuss the results in October, and the library board will present the results and goals for the coming year at the November regular library board meeting. And you do, in that little pile of stuff that I set at your place with the statistics and everything, have a copy of that self-review form if you aren't sure where the original one went, because we talked about it so long ago.
I think I know where mine is.
Doesn't matter, you have another one in front of you.
And just for informational purposes, the library staff, the library as a whole, started working on self-evaluation for all members of the staff, the director, and the board back in 2017. And the staff did an excellent job. We compiled an evaluation tool that we thought would be useful. And so the process has already happened for staff and the board. And the director, and now the last item is for the board to complete our self-evaluation. And so as soon as these forms are in, by the way, you can deposit them in my mailbox if you want to. We have a subcommittee, which is Ann Rose, Allison McFadden Kiesling, and myself. We will compile the results. Julie is also going to submit something with staff input. A lot of the staff does not see us unless they watch us on TV. So they're not familiar with this. And we will compile our results, and then we will have a board workshop where we review what our findings are and look for areas of improvement and refine how we're functioning as a board. And so, after the meeting, my subcommittee will meet to pick a date where we can compile this. And then, I think we can probably pick a date for the meeting after our October meeting. Would that be acceptable to pick the date at the October meeting
To meet as a
to
group.
review?
Yes.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea,
For the
because I'll
workshop.
have a better idea of
Yeah.
what October looks like when
Yes.
I get into it.
So the plan will be is that at our October board meeting, we'll pick a workshop date to review the results. That will give the committee time to compile the findings.
We'll make sure that gets on the agenda.
Okay, thank you.
Or if we're bad.
All right, so if that is acceptable to everyone, that's how we will proceed. I don't think we need a vote on this, we just need to see if we're all in agreement. So I thank you for those of us who found ours, since we've had them a couple months, several months. If not, everyone has a new copy. And so feel free to, you can put those, hand them to me, put them in the mailbox, or actually you can hand them to Ann or Allison. Either, anybody will do.
Okay.
We'll compile the results. All right. If there are no other comments, I'll accept a motion for adjournment.
So move.
And a second. Second. It's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. We will adjourn at 6:47. Thank you all very much.